Now let's head straight to the capital market now to look at the previous trading sessions and the performance of the market at the close of Thursday. Mr. Ambrose Amodian, Chief Research Officer, Investor Consulting Limited, he's here with us to look at the market. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Ambrose.
Thanks for having me again.
Now, the bullish stance persists at the close of market yesterday as the index, rose by about 100 or 45.9 billion. That's of course good news for investors. So bring us to speed the current positive posture in the market.
Yeah, actually we have seen for almost straight to get into like let's say 2 days in this week, but add to additional because there's about almost 7 straight days. Market is up for me. This is good, and investors are glad to see this kind of trend. The good thing is that I said it earlier and I still repeat it, that investors are seeing opportunity in the market, especially looking at the fixed income market because of the high inflation. Yields in that they become more negative. For that, they know where to go for safe haven. They're looking at equities that where earnings will remain in the up direction. Just like I said before, starting the program, you can see the number that came from Lafarge yesterday. It tells you that we're expecting this kind of number to guide investors, especially institutional investors, the PFAs, to know how to position ahead of the year. I say that first quarter is as important as third quarter, because when we are seeing the first quarter result of any company, it gives you an insight where the company is going for the new financial year. Now we're seeing the one that came from UCAP. Now we're seeing another one from Lafarge. Investors in the market see that numbers are coming despite inflation, despite the high cost of production, which I believe that in this Q2, at the end of Q2, those companies that are able to pass their high cost to consumer will still post a positive number that will support their price. That means for a designer, investor, or trader, this is the time for you to take position in those stocks that has good fundamental. That is what we are seeing in the market. Also look at all those high cap stocks that have not moved before now, they're not going up. I said earlier that for Airtel that has March as year end, Airtel result for full year will be in the market now before end of June. Investors see that, this company is one of the defensive stock in the market, and also the sector where it is a sector that is having positive fundamental news because of what we want to go into digital economy. Anywhere in the world, you see people that go into that, you need to spend that money and buy data. Apart from their airtime they are selling, that is another market for them. And I see that this is going to boost both MTN and Airtel results going into the future. For me, this is the time for investors to invest in good company. Also, if you look at the index for all the sectoral activities yesterday, they are all in green. So that people are still taking position in any sector where they see opportunity, especially those blue chips companies that has potential to rally, as we're expecting their first quarter to hit the market any moment from now.
Let's look at the top gainers, specifically for, the shares of Beja was up by about 10%. That's to close at 7.70 kobo at the close of yesterday. You have a Tana in that category as well. I think this is for the 3 trading sections now. We've seen Tana also maintaining this rally. Oando is also up there. Mia, the stock for the shares of Mia is also up there. So what's the trend likely to look like in the coming days? Do we still expect to maintain this particular rally for these stocks in the coming days?
No, this is the last trading of the week, and I expect that when it's on Friday, people are about to take profit from their position. Right. Meaning that we have just 4 trading days. Monday was a Easter break for Good Monday, what they call it, Easter Monday.
Good Friday.
Yeah, Easter Monday. Yeah.
you have Good Friday, and you have, of course, a Good Monday, or what you call Easter Monday exactly.
As well. Then, we expect that by today, some of these could have rally, like you mentioned, at Tana and Mia. But for Beja Paint don't rally because yesterday was qualification date for Beja. To this morning, now that's up a markdown for 40 kobo dividend. That means the movement we saw for Beja was up because people are taking position to qualify for the dividend that will mark down today. That means for Beja, I don't see it continue going forward because as they mark down the price will until we see a positive number that will turn the size of Beja Paint, because once they mark down 40 kobo, the price go down. But when we see a positive number, that will push it up back again.
What do you think is likely to shape a price movement upward
for Beja?
For Beja,
yeah, I said we will see a positive number. That also, don't forget that as we're having infrastructure gap, as we are building, you need paint. But because there are so many paint industry that are not quoted, the market, the competition in the market for paint is high. And for that's why I say let's see Beja first quarter to know where it's going from here, because once the markdown go, yesterday we saw the 10% gain because people are taking advantage of the 40 kobo dividend, let them qualify for it. And that I said earlier that in this month of month of April, we'll see market oscillating up and down because of the payment day and the price adjustment, because people want to position for a markdown. As the markdown price go down, that's why I said we expect a mistrend between now and end of the month, even for the month of May, because most of them also has May as well as their close period in terms of a corporate action. Let's see the market. For me, market is good. For market to remain above 48,000 mark, it's a good one. And if you look at the what we call T-line technical analysis, it's also looking good. The market is above it. When we come to technical, let's see that for me, market is strong technically and fundamental. Liquidity has seen the market go. Money flow is reading about 77.5 point. That is that funds are entering equity space. That means funds living somewhere for equity. That means I said as far as people are seeing that the inflation is on the uptrend, and when it's uptrend, all those fixed income and flat returns will be negative because they are below 15%. For me, that is why you see funds are looking for where they can hedge against inflation.
Right. Okay, let's quickly look at, I mean, for Eternal Oil, we've not said anything about that. And though we've seen the sector, of course, specifically for the oil sector, done very well in previous sections. So recently you're beginning to see some stocks in that sector for Eternal Oil, Oando also doing very well. As at the close of yesterday, Oando did about 9.90%, while Eternal did about 10%. Where do you see this stock headed in the coming days as well?
So for Eternal, I think the trend will still be there because it's a mandatory takeover that was signed, that was approved by SEC that is pushing Eternal up. But for Oando, they just released a notification of the board meeting to approve their 2019 financial year. Not only that, as far oil price remain up, it's Oando and Steplat are in that space of crude oil business. We expect that it's going to impact on the number. But for Eternal and others like Conoy, there's their number. But for Eternal, it's not because of their performance. It's because of the news. People are telling the news that the money took over about 0.10%, about 1.3 million shares that the major shareholder that holds about 68.2 is taken from the market. That is why, or from the shareholder, that is why the price is on the uptrend. For me, if you are there that you have made money, don't be greedy. Just take your profit, unless you're a long-term investor. But for me, those that have entered the stock at 5 naira, at this morning, another 10% is good for you to take profit and go for another stock.
Let's look at the flip side now. If you see the stock of Square, we've not seen much activity for that shares for some time now, but we're seeing more of losses for that particular stock, Square PLC, and ABC Transport is also down by about 6.45% at the close of yesterday to close at 29 kobo. You have Name-It there, and you also have May and Baker, which also down by about 2.95%. ICO Insurance is also down by about 1.5%. So what's the sentiment playing in this particular?
If you look at the numbers of stock we just called, they are all penny stock that are trading below 5 naira. I tell you, investor stock like Square, you can see there's no volume there. Investors will be very careful. But going down for me is just sell-off activity that we're seeing in that stock. But for ABC Transport, it's just profit taking. That stock moved from 30 kobo to about 35 kobo. People are taking profits for it. But for Name-It and me and Baker, these are in the healthcare sector. For me, their price just now is opportunity for investors to buy. Especially we're expecting the Q2 number for Name-It, and Name-It is September year end at the same account. Once it hit the market and they will see Name-It result looking positive, it will turn the trend of this pullback we're seeing Name-It. But for me and Baker, we're still looking forward for their markdown date and at the same time the Q1 number. That means now that me and Baker has pulled back, for me it's also another opportunity to buy for those that want to trade the stock and want to also invest for dividend. But they declare 30 kobo dividend for 2021. For me, it's a good one. But for the last one there, which is ICO, I'll tell you, all those penny stock in insurance, people are really very careful. But I believe that ICO, since they sold their main, the backbone, that they said their pension arm of the business to, what's it called? This Airbnb, what's it called? FBN.
Is it mutual benefit?
No, they sold their pension to FCMB. Yeah, FCMB. Okay. So that I can see that for me, investors are very careful because the company has a large share in issue for ICO. Now, while you have sold your core business that will impact your earnings, people are very careful. That's why the price has remained below 1 naira.
I'm also wondering though, yes, you talk about profit taking. We know that we do not have too many companies or transport stock listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. But how much of what is going on in the Nigerian transport system are affecting this particular stock? Yes, the cost of diesel has gone up. And then a lot of transporters are trying to cut, or transport companies are trying to cut cost. I mean, how much impact or negative impact is it having on this particular stock?
Actually, as we speak, I won't know much because we have not seen the account number and also the account. But from the environment where we are, we know that most of this kind of company has passed the increase in diesel to the commuters, because price of transport has also moved. That means they know it to affect them more, because this one you must move. Unless, yes, if you want to move, you have to pay the price. That means only that for them, if they're able to only that, it will reduce the number of people that will be on the road. Fine, but I believe they can only manage their costs.
I need you to quickly take us through today's trading, but then, of course, before then, Lafarge, released its report in the market at the close of yesterday with profit after tax about total turnover now rising from 79.47 billion in 2022 to 90.61 billion. How is that going for that?
Yeah, that's about 71.47 billion to 90.61. For me, it's a good move for WAPCO or Lafarge, we call it. Look at the top line. The top line is above 15, with about 27 in change. It's a good one. This first quarter that we are seeing. And don't forget, in 2021, this is a company that posted about 3.17 kobo earning per share for full year. At the beginning of your first quarter, it's already posting 1.9 kobo for first quarter. At the end of the year, we're expecting around nothing less than 450 or even 5 naira for Lafarge.
But how is investors, are they reacting to that?
No, the result hit the market. Now, after the market have closed, we expect that today, and this morning, as we speak now, it's already on beat. That there have demand for the stock as we speak now, because market has opened. But if you look at the improvement in WAPCO results, it tells that WAPCO is going somewhere. And if you look at industry where you operate, you see Lafarge, you see Boa Cement, you see Dangote Cement. You see that this company is different, the price is low, but they're almost having the same number of share in issue. And because it's a company that paid 2 naira for 2021, for me, there's a lot of opportunity, and also this stock is on that value. But seeing the first quarter number moving from 71.47 billion to, and then the PAT was one that's really impressed the investor. That is where we're concerned as investor, because that PAT is after
profit after tax.
It tells you that they are taking charge of the tax, taking charge of their expenses. At the end of the day, we are seeing about moving from 9.14 to about almost 17 billion. That's about moving from 57 kobo to 1 naira 9 kobo. This switch now for me is a good one. That means at the end of the year, you can just say to analyze this company performance, we're expecting like 4 naira 50 kobo at the end of this financial year. That was so they will expect a better dividend if they made 3 naira 17 kobo and able to pay 2 naira after that. If they're making 5 naira, what you expect? That's why I said first quarter result is very important for design investor to know exactly where your company, where you put your money is heading to.
We've seen, we've seen the market, move from average 25,000. 25 trillion to all-time high of 26. I'm talking about the entire index, the exchange rate now. And so if you look at that again, since the beginning of the year, the market has also, in terms of that index, it has also grown. If you have to represent it with a percentage, that's about 12.89%. Right, since the beginning of the year. So take us through. Yes, we're expecting a lot of first quarter earnings to start coming into the market. But take us through the journey ahead in terms of direction for companies, for investors. Where are we headed?
Actually, for me, I think we're heading to a bullish end. But don't forget that as market is rallying, profit taking is part about the market. I believe that.
You may want to show some slides.
Let's quickly look at our chart now. Let's quickly look at our chart. It's very important, as we just said. Yeah. You can see this chart here. This is what we call the all-share index action. That means the NGS index, and it's moving positively. You can see this blue line. This blue line will have what we call 12 and 8, moving average here. The two that cross each other here. You can see from here to here is a bullish market. Just when the market was below 47,000, that it came down around March 17, then also bounced back above it. Since on the 8th of on the 8th of April, you can see the market have been on the uptrend. For me, it's a good one for the market. You see this trend, market is bullish. But for at this point, don't be carried away. The market is already almost a 15 years high. But now know that if you make your profit or you meet your target, take profit. Don't expect the market to continue in this operation. They will call profit taking or price correction. It can come at any time. That's why I said profit taking is underway because people have made money. Yes, we expect that you still go higher because most of those high cap stocks are still going to move up. Talk like Ete Africa, MTN, but MTN first quarter coming to the market, it will don't change the face of MTN. So that also knowing that MTN has another factor that also boosts their cash flow this year because of the license that have been approved by CBN. We expect that MTN and the Airtel continue to keep the market up, and also a stock like Dangote Cement also is there, Bois is there. For me, that investor not panic, but just if you hit a target, don't be greedy. That's why you must have a plan you are trading. Trade your plan. Also, don't forget not to use your stop loss and take away emotion in your decision taking when you are trading stock. Don't attach emotion to no stock. It's like your wife that you're married. Once you make profit, sell off. Not because the name of the company or the MD, no.
So basically just about profit taking for investors. Just
take
your profit and get out of the market.
Don't look at the name of the company or whether your friend is there. Don't put emotion into it. Just once you meet your, that's why as you're entering, you have your entering and your exit strategy, the entering price and exit price. Once you make it, just exit the position.
It's all right. I think we need to just wrap it up here. Thank you so much.
No problem
we will keep our eye in the market. It's just almost about 2 hours into the, beg your pardon, 1 hour, 30 minutes into today's trading. Thank you for coming, Mr. Ambrose Omodia, Chief Research Officer, Investor Consulting Limited.